ladies and gentlemen of all ages, boys and girls. Thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Angry Meat Production. We appreciate you coming in and letting us be a part of your lives week in and week out. We hope to do our best to present you with something that your eardrums delight in. Whether you're looking at us on YouTube or Rumble, or listening to us on Spotify, Google, or Anchor, or any of the other podcast services that we are currently on or trying to get on. We thank you. And if you don't mind, at the end of every episode, stop by, leave us a comment, leave us a like. If it asks for 5 stars, we'll take 5 stars, even if you don't like us. 5 stars are what it's all about. With that being said, we hope you enjoy our attempt to make our advocation our vocation. Ladies and gentlemen, let the games begin.
Welcome, Angry Faithful. Today on Nerd Sports 106, we are going to talk about the interesting and competitive sport of ear pulling. Yes, I said that right. Ear pulling. There's a composition. Fucking Chris keeps on sending me weird stuff every once in a while. Most of the time I have to look up stuff. But they put like strings like attached onto the ear. And they just lean back. And whoever snaps the things first loses. That's the whole
concept. Oh, so are they like attached by clothespins kind of a thing, or
kind of, yeah.
Or like nipple clamps on the earlobes?
That, you know what? I was just, as soon as I thought about the ear thing, I was like, is there a nipple competition? There probably is.
I'm sure there is, but
like,
that's reserved for places like DWs or.
What are you talking about? Men can do it.
No, I'm talking about. Okay. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
Finally got my microphone to work, and I know that it comes through a little bit. Let me try to do.
Just stop messing with everything. Everything's for sit back
there.
in
There.
Sit back in your chair.
There, because when I get a little what's the boisterous, a little exuberant there, I can hear the little bit of feedback. So, but
it's a little bit of feedback only because of the camera, and you don't have a lot of soft spot. It happens.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, the office / studio that I'm working out of is going to have more things on the walls. Now, of course, this is going to require me to be a little bit more self-reliant on my mobility, just to catch everybody up. I had knee surgery last Wednesday.
Don't forget the important part of that whole thing. The reason why we haven't done anything for a whole week. One, yes, the knee surgery. Yeah,
no, I was willing to do it that night.
Well, we ended up having a bunch of stuff that happened.
Right. Yeah. It's called life, people.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we are not beholden by our singular sponsor.
No. It was a sponsor that I want to talk about. The only sponsor that we kind of have that we're going to talk about. I almost made a trip to the Houston area because someone pulled a Bill Cosby on Johnny, and I was defending my man.
Yeah, so I showed up at the VA hospital in down here in Houston, and they go through the whole pre-op thing, and I go in to see the anesthesiology team, and they administer some local anesthetic because they had to do a nerve block on my right leg.
Yeah.
Now, what this entailed was they went in, they did an ultrasound on my leg to find the nerve, and then they jammed a needle in my thigh and fished a catheter in my through my one of the major veins in my leg, down to the nerve just above the right knee. And then they hooked up a pump, right? I had this medicine ball full of nerve blocker, and I had a button that I could only press once every 30 minutes, right? Well, they called me the next morning I'm getting ahead of myself. So once they got all that done, I woke up and I was giving them hell because they had an army, the Air Force had 2 plaques, the 82nd Airborne had a fucking plaque on the damn wall. The 10th Mountain had a plaque on the wall, but there was no 101st. And I'm sitting there going, that's fucked up. I said, I'm feeling a little excluded and maybe persecuted. And they're like, what? Why? I was like, because you ain't got no 101st on the wall. I was like, there's a reason why they don't make movies about the 82nd, because it's just a fucking tragedy. I mean, it's like watching Romeo and Juliet, where the kids commit suicide in the end. Like, just like seriously, or Hamlet, where, Hamlet's sleeping with his mother and conspiring to kill his uncle or some crazy. I'm like, seriously, come on. But anyways, so they wheel me into the operation room, into the OR, and they get me onto the table, and the anesthesiologist is like, all right, I'm going to need you to breathe. And I was like, okay. He goes, I've already been told that you have a reputation for giving people a hard time. I was like, yeah, well, the last 2 times I've had surgery, I beat the 10 count the anesthesiologist gave me. And he's like, all right, we'll make it 20. I was like, bet. And I made it to 20. And then the next thing I remember, I'm waking up and getting put in a wheelchair and sent home. and and so I'm like, ooh, okay. I mean, I remember parts of the drive home just because I was still hopped up on like anesthesia and whatever painkillers, whatever other painkillers that that they'd given me. And yeah, so eventually on Friday, um the Friday morning they called me, and this to kind of do a follow-up, and I was like, all right, cool. And they're asking me about the nerve blocker that they had, still attached to my body. And they were like, all right, well, it's, there's a little knob in there that said like how many milliliters you were getting every 30 minutes or every time you press the button. I said, well, it says 6 right now. And they said, well, what's your pain on a scale of 1 to 10? I said, well, right now it's at about a 7.5, maybe an 8. And it's not the worst thing I've ever felt, right? And so they were like, well, just turn it up to 8 and just be aware that it's going to empty a lot faster. I was like, yeah, well, I mean, we're increasing the dosage. So yeah, I get that. By Friday afternoon, it was empty.
Jesus.
Dude, I'm telling you. And when I realized that it was empty, they had called me and they were like, Friday afternoon, they called me back and were like, we're just following up with you again. I said, yeah, it's empty. And they're like, well, you live in Lake Jackson. I said, yeah. And they're like, oh, that's so far away, which just to give everybody kind of an idea as to what we're looking at, I live 1 hour from downtown Houston. And so I'm sitting there going, there's no way to like get this refilled in Lake Jackson. They're like, no, they don't have the facility for it. And we really have to do it here. And I'm sitting there going, I don't want to be in a car for 2 hours with this brace, not being able to drive, And so I was just like, I'm just gonna have my wife take it out. So Saturday morning, well, actually Friday night, uh, Mindy pulled the catheter out, and I'm sitting there going, okay, it shouldn't be that long, right? The catheter itself,
Dear God, Johnny.
bro. When she got done pulling this thing out of my leg, there was that much of it. A full foot was in my thigh.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sitting there going, holy shit, dude.
That's why you have professionals do that shit. So,
No, they told her that she could take it out.
oh,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Trust me. My wife is the kind of person that whenever I had to go get stitches on my arm, right? And I'm like sitting there going, I don't want to have the VA do it. I'll just pull them out myself. And she says, and I quote, the fuck you are, right? She's like, medical professionals are going to do that shit. But then when they gave her the green light to take that thing out of my leg, oh, yeah. I mean, she was all about it. So, I mean, she just kept pulling and pulling and pulling. I'm sitting there going, enough already, Bozo the Clown. Just let's get the gag over with, right? Finally, the end of it comes out, and I'm like, all right, according to the instructions, the end of this needs to be black. And she's like, yep, there it is. I said, well, okay, good. Then we don't have anything to worry about. So slapped a band-aid on it, and my thigh has been fucking killing me for like the last day and a half because it's starting to close back up.
Yeah.
And then my body started to go through the withdrawals of not having that nerve blocker in it. And so my knees sitting there going boom, 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 you know. But I got one of those like cool compression bandages or compresses that's underneath this brace.
Oh,
You hook it
nice.
up to a cooler, and
Yeah.
it circulates ice water through it as it's inflating and deflating to help circulation and prevent blood clotting.
Oh, nice.
I'm just sitting there going, man. And then she goes and she scores me a power lift recliner, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to ignore the fact that it's a power lift because I cannot like sit down and get up under my own power right now. That chair is remarkably comfortable. So even after I'm healed up, I'm keeping this damn chair. So I'm like, all right, but um, yeah. So they told me 6 weeks and no weight bearing, which today was an adventure because I had to go to school. I had it's finals week this week,
Yeah.
and Monday of next week I've got one more final, but I'm having to crutch my ass all over this campus, and I couldn't do it. And one of the counselors went and got a wheelchair for me, and I'm just like, oh God, dude, it sucks, dude. I'm just sitting there going, my arms were smoked, dude. I mean, I've got my backpack with all my books and my MacBook in it, and trying to crutch around the school. I'm just sitting there going, hey, I'm out of shape, dude. This is
Yeah, I found
bullshit.
that I found that out this weekend too. So we
Yeah, I mean,
we both need to start working. I'm starting up a routine anyways because it helped my the things I did all this weekend helped
mhm.
my sciatic nerve right there. I didn't have a
Yeah.
pain all weekend,
Well, that's good. I'm
but
sitting there trying to. I'm not like trying to bail out on the show, dude. I'm trying to get comfortable in this chair. So, okay, that's better. All right,
yeah.
so getting into it.
Oh, one last thing before we
Yeah.
go, since Johnny did his thing about what happened last week. What happened with me last week is I went to our other co-host, which he's the only reason why he's not here today is the basic fact of his internet went down in his in a new place. He's getting it fixed up. So
First fucking world problems, bro.
I'm telling you. But last week I ended up what it ended up happening. I forgot my laptop. What I was just switching from nights to days.
Yeah.
Your brain just fucking just goes off the wall. First thing that ended up happening, I forgot. I went to go get my bow checked in, get some more arrows from Loophole, Les Pole, Texas. It's a little small town.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason why I go there is because their customer service is like on par.
Oh,
Fucking
I was gonna say it better have been for some insanely hot, woman working behind the counter or something.
no, no, no. I mean they're cute guys, but anyways,
Okay.
no, I forgot my bow at the archery store, and that place is 2 hours from where Chris lives. So the next day, I ended up having to go back up there and come back. So a 4 hour drive. I was supposed to go up to the BRCC headquarters on Wednesday, but
You had to miss out on that.
no, I didn't. I
Oh,
just
okay.
Thursday.
Oh,
Well, I
okay.
went out Thursday and Friday. Uh, but I went up there. I had fun. Well, I went down there. Had fun with Jack Manaville. He's a hoot. And ended up talking to the other employees up there. But yeah, I ended up helping Chris move all of his extra stuff that he needed two people for. Got that done. Which the one apartment was upstairs and the other one was downstairs, which I was really super happy for.
Oh, the one he's moving into is downstairs.
Thank God it was downstairs.
That'd have been like, bro.
Well, the next day I went to tack after moving them and everything, and they had like a couple of 45 degree hikes up, 40 close to like
Wow,
60
your legs were toast.
My legs were gone. They were gone. They wasn't toast. They were
Like,
gone.
what the
I was in
fuck,
a
Dickerman?
wheelchair.
You're sucking hindy tit. What's going on? Fuck you. I skipped leg day.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, there was one shot just like the last time I went there. It was on a 40-degree climb.
Mhm.
Uh it was at a decent shot, and the guys that I ended up hooking up with, they're like, "Yeah, you can hang out with us." But they're like, "So you're going to shoot this shot?" I was like, "I'm thinking what? Cuz if I get this shot, it's a good shot. But I'm either A or B. I'm not getting that arrow." It's it was it was literally that was the degree of going up there and getting my retrieving my arrow. And it was probably around about 20, 60 feet
Mm.
up. But I had fun. It was enjoyable. I love going up to tack. Uh
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
was
this is the second year in a row you've gone.
yeah, I'm going next year. I'm working out so I could go next year.
Right, there you go. All right. So
Are we gonna do baseball
baseball.
first? Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do baseball first.
Because the draft
Um,
is this week too.
yeah, we'll touch on the draft. Um, I say touch on the draft. We'll talk about the draft. Um, Bryce Harper, uh, he 160 days ago went and got Tommy John surgery, and so the initial reports were is that he was expected to be out. Oh, please, my lovely, lovely wife is bringing her chair over so I can put my leg into it because,
Nice.
dude, this this fucking sucks. All right. You are a rock star. Love you. So, but Bryce Harper,
Isn't this the second time he's had this surgery though?
no, well, no, the second surgery I've had on this knee. The first time
No,
was
no,
in,
no, no. Tommy John's. I don't give a shit about
oh,
you.
no, for Bryce Harper? No, no. Tommy John is just, you hear it a lot. So it's okay. I mean, it's easy to associate that. It's easy to associate that with, this, a singular athlete, but there are pitchers who have multiple Tommy Johns. But no, Tommy John is more common these days. But I mean, normally that's a 7 to 8 month recovery time,
Yeah.
right? Just where you can get cleared for baseball activities. Bryce Harper is cleared to return after 160 days. So he's got some Wolverine shit going on.
Either that or they pumped him full of stem cells. They do that nowadays.
I
No,
mean,
they do that. Dude,
maybe,
they
I don't
literally
know. I have no
the,
idea.
the
But
technology for recovery nowadays
Mhm.
is just super. Down to Colombia, you get like close to like 1.5 million stem cells shot into your body and everything like that.
Yeah,
Oh,
like with my knee, they went in and initially they thought it was one hole in my cartilage that was on the femur, but when
yeah.
they went into the knee, they realized that the underside of my kneecap had a hole too. So they did the grinding and drilling that they needed to do to create the holes where they needed, and then they used my blood to bioengineer bone grafts
Yeah.
to attach cartilage to
They
and put those
another
in those holes. So I'm
another one is they use someone that's close to your genetic code,
mhm.
and it's like fuck, I forget, mortuary regraft or something like that. It's like
Something like that.
times better.
Yeah, but I'm sitting here thinking I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna get some like knockoff, wish list, wish aftermarket parts put into my knee. But no, I mean it may not be OEM, but it is manufacturer. So I'm not in mint condition because I got some bumps and bangs and some bruises, and some scars, but no, I'm still 100% me. So I mean, that's a plus for now.
I was hoping
But
for
yeah, but Ronald Acuna Jr. The Braves were playing a doubleheader today.
Yeah.
In their daytime game, he had an upper deck tank, dude. I mean, just absolutely killed this home run, and the Braves won game one because of it. Um, but going into the nightcap game, he's leading off the game. He gets hit in the shoulder by the first pitch.
Damn.
And so now he had to leave the game. So Braves Nation is kind of holding their breath right now for that. The Astros moved Urquidy to the IL for a shoulder
Sorry about
shoulder
that.
injury. Let me see here. The Mariners' number 2 prospect is going to make his debut tomorrow, supposedly for Seattle. Bryce Miller from Double-A Arkansas is being called up. So he's skipping over Triple-A. He's just coming up to the majors. So he's going to make his major league debut tomorrow night. So congratulations to that kid. It's kind of every kid's dream that something like that happens, and so I mean that's why you play the game. And I say go out there, soak it up, and just make sure that you make contact. Because it's yeah. Let me see here.
And everybody, sorry about that. I forgot I had my phone connected to my freaking thing, and spam ended up coming up.
I didn't hear anything.
Oh,
All right, so
I gotta go
there
in.
was a game that was played down in Mexico City. Let me see here. Mexico City series is up first. The Padres are face the Giants in 2 games at Alfredo Harp Leu Stadium on Saturday and Sunday. So it was over the weekend. Wow. I mean, just the Twitterverse was just kind of I mean, dude, straight up exploded over that during those games. So like, let me pull up Saturday's game. Where did it go? 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 Saturday's game went final 11-16 in favor of San Diego. There were, let me look here. I mean, Mexico City is kind of at altitude, kind of like Denver is, where the Rockies play. And it's already been confirmed that MLB has been been using juiced balls for special events and things like that. One, if you're going to use juiced balls in a regular season game, I think that you should give the pitching staffs for both clubs an exemption from their stats. I mean, seriously, it is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you got the San Diego Padres wearing their City Connect uniforms, and they are just god awful ugly, right? I mean, they look like something Miami should be wearing with all the neon greens and pinks and blues, and oh, it's atrocious, right? But let me see here. I'm looking to see who all went yard in that game. Why Padres? There we go. All right, so home runs. Nelson Cruz hit a home run. Juan Soto hit a home run. Xander Bogaerts hit a home run. Fernando Tatis Jr. hit a home run. Manny Machado hit a home run. We're just like, what?
That
And
was
then
that wasn't as good as the Rangers and the Reds on Tuesday.
I didn't watch that game. How did I not
Dude,
watch?
dude, it was so funny because okay, what happened was is I just got in. Me and Chris went to go eat. Then
Talking
we
about this past Tuesday?
yeah.
Rangers and the Reds. Oh, Oh, okay. So they played in Cincinnati. Yeah, the Rangers lost that game 6-7.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Me and Chris we went to go eat,
Mm-hmm.
and then we went to go see The Covenant, the Guy Ritchie movie, which
Yeah.
fucking fantastic movie. Great
It's I
movie.
mean, it's Guy Ritchie, so it's
Yeah.
almost a no-brainer at that point.
Yeah. But it was surprisingly super good. Anyways, well, when we were up at Torchy's, the game was 6-0. Texas was leading 6 points.
Oh
And
yeah,
and
yeah.
Chris
Cincinnati puts up one in the seventh and then comes back for six in the bottom of the eighth. Yeah.
yes, yes. I go up, he goes up, he's like, man, I think the Texas is gonna run this from yesterday. I was like, the game's not over yet, dude. They could drop the ball. I mean, Texas is, used to dropping the ball. He's like, no, no, we get out of the movie. Fuck you, dude. Because he doesn't look at his phone the entire time we're watching this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I was laughing so hard. I thought I was gonna die. I mean, I literally thought I was gonna die. He's gonna smother me in my sleep.
Yeah. But for me at least, um, the biggest takeaway from the weekend was the fact that the New York Yankees came into town. They're in Arlington to play the Rangers for a 4-game series.
Yeah, they won the first game, but they lost
Yeah,
the
they won the first game. Oh, they won the first game.
and the last game they got their ass 15-2. They
Yeah.
beat the shit
Get
out of them.
Oh, yeah. And then on what was it? Saturday, Nathan Eovaldi
Yeah,
pitched a complete game shutout.
yeah. That one was like 2-0. It was.
Yeah, it was 2-0. Oh, dude, it was amazing. I'm sitting there last night because and I'm gonna segue into hockey here real quick. Um, the President's Trophies curse is real. So don't let anybody get you fucking sideways about that. Okay.
Explain what the President Trophy is for the people that.
It's having the best overall record in the regular season.
Yeah.
Okay. So the
And it's,
Boston Bruins, the number one overall seed in the playoffs, we're hosting the last fucking team to get into the playoffs. They qualified on the last day of the regular season. The Florida Panthers.
that went well.
On paper, the Bruins should have won this game or won this series in 5 games. Should have. However, last night was game 7.
Yeah.
And while it looked like the Bruins were, they were off to a really bad start. They were already down 2-0 going into the, to after the second period started. But then the Bruins came back and they tied the game. They tied it. I'm like, okay, there's hope. There's hope. Then Pastrnak scores the go-ahead goal. They're up 3-2. Like, great. We don't have Allmark in the net. We've got Jeremy Swayman, and he hasn't had a start in 17 fucking days, but he's still holding his own and he's making some pretty good saves. Because the Bruins all night had been missing opportunities, mishandling the puck, turning it over in the zone, in the offensive zone, they were turning the puck over. They were just bad penalties. I mean, I'm not talking bad penalties on the refs. I'm talking needless penalties, like, roughing I can excuse. Fine, whatever. You're establishing your dominance. But tripping, which was like the most called penalty by 18% over all the other penalties over the course of the regular year or regular season. I mean, dude, there was like 3 or 4 tripping calls against the Bruins last night. And I'm sitting there going, what the fuck? I mean, and Florida, as a last ditch effort before the game closed out, pulled their goalie, put an extra attacker on the ice. They had an empty net. And you are trying to tell me that you could not get the puck out of your zone and clear it down on target to an empty net? You didn't even have to shoot it from full, from the back line. You could have, all you had to do was cross the blue line and get a decent shot off and put enough behind it to where the Florida Panthers could not catch up with it, and you could have sealed the game. You should, all intents and purposes, be going off to the next round to play the Toronto fucking Maple Leafs, whom, by the way, we have absolutely owned for the last 10 years.
And they just dropped the puck.
They just shit the bed. I mean, to borrow a phrase from Massachusetts and New England, I mean, they shit the bed. I mean, literally shit the bed. I mean, there's nothing else to say about it. And what pisses me off about it the most is the fact that my favorite player, Patrice Bergeron, might be hanging up his skates. And this is how he's going to go out? Oh, it's not about bad touch Bob. You can put him back on the shelf. No, sir. This is about piss poor execution. You rested on your laurels and you're thinking to yourself, this is going to be an easy opponent. And they came out, they punched you in the mouth a couple of times, and it took you too long to get your senses about you, and you didn't gather up in time. You should have had the Florida Panthers packing home after 5 fucking games. Instead, no. Now you get to watch the playoffs like the rest of the Stanley Cup playoffs, like the defending Stanley Cup champions, Colorado Avalanche, get to do after the expansion team, the first year of existence, Seattle Kraken, beat you in 7 games. I mean, come on.
Johnny, you seem just a tiny bit upset about this.
Dude, I'm telling you. And here's the thing. There was rumors going around that that Allmark, the starting goaltender for Boston, he was banged up. He was injured, which is why he'd been letting all these goals through. And it's like, okay, well, I get the whole tough guy thing, but the Stanley Cup tournament is a completely different animal if you don't put that fucking pad and paper down, or pad and pen down. I'm going to figure out a way to make myself mobile and drive up there and put my good foot up your ass.
I'm just saying, I mean, maybe I should.
Nah, man. I mean, okay.
No, BC has
the
like
NHL is notorious for not releasing accurate injury reports. Okay. They should have put Jeremy Swayman in the net sooner than Game 7. They could have started him in Game 4. There was talk about him starting in Game 4 anyway. You should have done that. Should have started it in Game 4, and he would have been back, tuned up, and ready to go for Game 5. And at best, maybe you had to go back to Florida to play Game 6. Swayman still should have been in the net instead of Allmark. I'm not hanging this on Allmark because his defenders let him down too. But and then after the series is over, and everybody in Boston is just kind of going, what the fuck, Patrice Bergeron comes out and it's made public that he played with a herniated disc during the series. And he was still making good hits. He was still putting people in the boards. Okay.
So you don't want to.
But here's the thing. Okay, hockey players are tough. I mean, a guy gets his fucking eye, his face, sliced open, 72 stitches, and he's back for the 3rd period. I mean, hockey players are just a different breed. Okay.
The best.
I mean, they're not going to sit there and complain about leg cramps whenever the air conditioning gets turned up too fucking high. I'm looking at you, LeBron. And
the best.
They're not going to bitch and moan.
The best one was that one guy got his fucking nut slashed. He got his throat cut.
Oh yeah. I mean, he yeah. And that, in fact, that happened with I think it was a West Point cadet, the Army West Point hockey team. He took a skate to the neck. He got stitched up and it was on the bench for the third period. They didn't put him back in, but he was on the bench for the third period. They had to stop play so that way they could get out there and scrape all the blood off of the ice and have the Zamboni go out and resurface it. Right? I'm sitting there going, that's fucking hard. That's hardcore right there.
That's not even hardcore. That's you don't want to meet these people in real life type thing.
Right. Exactly.
But they're actually probably the nicest.
But when it comes to the goaltenders, if you look at some of these saves that these guys make, I mean, their body is twisting in all kinds of different contortions, and it's almost like they own a yoga gym or something like that, and they're just flexible, you know. But when it comes to the playoffs, I mean, your linemen, fine. They want to play with injury, go for it, as long as they don't become a liability. But Allmark in the net for games 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 was an absolute liability. He allowed so many goals during this series alone. Now, I'm not saying that the Bruins need to hang their head and be ashamed of the year. I mean, it was a great season, but I mean, any self-respecting hockey fan will tell you that the real season starts when the playoffs begin. I mean, I'm still going to watch the playoffs, still going to watch the Stanley Cup final. I guess I'm kind of having to be forced to resort to pulling for my JV team, the Dallas Stars. They advanced to the second round. So, I mean, that's always a plus.
Yeah.
Right. So right now the playoff brackets, the way that it looks, where is it at? Play. Holy crap. Here we go. I just had the bracket on my screen. What in the ever loving hell? Hold on. All right. So tonight, the New York Rangers and the New Jersey Devils, they played their game 7. That's going to be at 7:00 on ESPN. I'm not really all interested at all in watching that game because I kind of want New York to win because fuck New Jersey, but I don't want New York to win either because they're a New York team. And as a self-respecting Red Sox fan, anything New York can go fuck itself. I know. I mean, these are first world problems. I get it, but
yeah.
Tomorrow night, the Panthers and Maple Leafs start in Toronto. Their playoff round. The Seattle Kraken come to Dallas to play against the Stars in Game 1.
Hopefully,
that game starts at 8:30. I may end up watching that game. I would love to see the Edmonton Oilers humble the Las Vegas Golden Knights. I really would. That game is on Wednesday. Thursday, the Kraken is at the Stars again. I mean, these are all going to be best of 7 series, all the way through to the end. It's going to be an interesting and downright entertaining playoff run for the remaining teams. But we're going to be guaranteed, at the very least, that the President's Cup curse is going to be extended for 1 more year at least, and that we are guaranteed a new Stanley Cup champion this year because the defending champs got bounced by an expansion team. Anyways, moving on. So I think we should bring Colin in before we start diving into the draft.
While you're getting Colin in, I am gonna talk about something else. Go ahead, get Colin. One thing that happened this week, the Wrexham soccer team was promoted to a professional league. The reason why I'm bringing this up because Ryan Reynolds, our nonchalant boyfriend, me and Johnny switch him off every once in a while because it's Ryan Reynolds.
He's the only guy that we'd go gay for. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Soccer team wins promotion to professional league in Wrexham, a small British soccer club purchased in 2001 by American actors Ryan Reynolds and Rob McKinley. Has won
from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah. Has won sufficient games this season to advance to the professional league for the first time in 15 years. following the 3-1 victory over a team called Brenhamwood on Saturday. Wrexham has gained promotion, the process by which a club moves into a higher quality playing tier and starts in August will take its place in League Two, which is actually the fourth highest tier in soccer, English soccer. The town of Wrexham is in Wales, but like several other goddamn fucking thing. Close up. Like several other Welsh soccer clubs and compete in English soccer leagues, Wrexham's Association Football Club has formed an important part of the community in the same town in northern Wales since its formation in 1860. Jesus Christ, that's a long time. 1860.
Yeah. I mean, but he's about to dump another like $1 billion into the
Yeah,
club.
I was gonna get into that too.
Yeah.
Uh, but despite strong support from local residents, it has long struggled financially to pay its players and maintain its operational,
There we go.
almost going
Oh,
bankrupt
geez,
with
I can't.
most multi-million dollar debts around a decade.
Okay, you can hear me? You can't hear me? He can't hear me. Outstanding. Outstanding. Like you can't hear me at all. Can you hear him, Dave?
No, I can't hear shit.
Oh, this is great. All right, hold on. I can hear you.
Did you pull up the screen?
Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
Screen sharing has failed to start. Why did he hang up?
Hmm.
And guess what camera decided it was going to start working? All right, hold on a second. Oh my God, seriously? This is live, people.
Well, it's not that bad. You should have seen Richard Hugh last night trying to get his
Can you hear
life.
me, Colin? Hold on. Do not hang up.
This is the start. While he's getting everything ready, another thing Ron Reynolds ended up doing, the Wrexham owner, Ron Reynolds, could buy another team with the Hollywood actor fronting a massive $795 million bid to buy ice hockey franchise, the Awada Senators, just days after clinching the promotion to the League Two.
Okay, now let me see if I get the screen share to go.
There we go.
We're going, people. Okay, so David, go ahead and finish what you were saying there.
Okay. Hollywood actor co-owner Ron Reynolds could be set to take over another sports team after celebrating the promotion of the former National League outfit. The football team owner by Ronald Reynolds and fellow TV star Rob McKelly recently earned promotion to the blah 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 after tasing sports success in England. Canadian board is reportedly preparing to invest in further cash into another team. This time on the ice. 46-year-old and co-owner partner of the Welsh club, forked out a roughly $2 million to purchase the rolling stake of Wrexham. But Reynolds is now embarking on a venture that will see him lead a group submitting a $795 million. Okay, it's a group that's going to buy him. The NHL side finished sixth in the Eastern Conference. Atlantic divisions have prepared for a new owner to take control of the club since Ewing McLean death in March 2022. So, like most Canadians, he's getting a football team or a hockey team. So now on to Colin.
Okay. before we get started, like bring, and then move this over here. All right. This week's installment of Joke Time with Colin is brought to you by my wife, Mobile Notary Mindy. She's a certified mobile notary signing agent and remote online notary based in Lake Jackson, Texas, right here. She provides accurate, prompt, and professional services to her clients, and she holds that as her top priority, as she should, as all notary agents should, because they are officers of the state. She can expertly guide you through the process to ensure that all documents are signed to completion and delivered on time. She does loan documents, refinances and mortgages, wills and trusts, powers of attorney, titles, bills of sales, acknowledgments, HELOCs, reverse mortgages, and more. She would love you to be her preferred notary. If you would mind, give her a call or text her at 979-258-1078. She is bonded and insured. She also has a TikTok page, and she is also on Facebook. So if you don't feel comfortable reaching out to her via text or phone call, definitely hit her up on one of her social media platforms. And I can confidently say that she does very good work, and I'm not being biased at all. She is also going to, for the last 2 Saturdays in the month of May, for veterans that live within Brazoria County, she's going to be providing free general notary work for veterans that live in Brazoria County for, again, the last 2 Saturdays in May. So that is going to be May 20th and 27th. That is Mindy Skelton, more affectionately known as Mobile Notary, Mindy. That is a tongue twister, and I'm embarrassed.
You can get it right.
Anyways, so now that we have taken care of our sponsor is going to take care of us, and it is time, once again, ladies and gentlemen, for that much awaited time of the week. Yes, we know that we put you into a involuntary fast last week when we didn't bring to you the dulcet tones of our voices. But never fear. Where we wronged you, Colin is here to make right. He is here to tickle your funny bone, to make your soul look at itself in the mirror and go, what the hell? It's my genetic code on display for your ears and your eyes to feast upon. Hailing from from the darkest regions of my no square.
We'll go with that.
Joke time with Colin.
Go ahead, Colin.
I don't know why my ear is being crappy.
We can still hear you.
Okay. What do you call a blind German?
What?
Not see.
You got more? Or is that it for this week?
I once was blind, but now I not see.
I once was blind, now I'm not see.
Lord, forgive me. I apologize. Okay, on to the next one. Good sir.
Dark humor is like a kid with cancer. Never gets old.
Say it one more time.
Whoa. Say it again.
Dark humor is like a kid with cancer. Never gets old.
I just wanted to hear it again.
I gotta get this kid baptized soon. All right.
I mean, if you want a steam cloud afterwards.
What else you got?
That was it.
That was it? You coming
That's
on
good enough.
With a dynamic duo this week. Okay. That was awesome. I don't know what that was. You know what? Just forget that I ever did that.
It's caught on camera, Johnny. No one can see it. No.
No.
No, like the was a gun and gum. No, I did that one.
Did
Oh,
you?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
That
you
one.
did. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
There he is, folks. This is going to sound dark and twisted. But from the tip of my wiener to your ears, this has been another installment of Joke Time with Colin. You're welcome.
So, Colin, would you like to have a little therapy session
Oh,
of how bad?
nope. We're gonna put the links for our sponsor in the links of our YouTube channel. Look for it on our Facebook page.
Actually, I'll put them in all of them. It's not that hard.
Yeah, we'll put it
Just
on
in the
all over
description.
socials. But
Just make sure you actually send me the stuff.
How's your leg?
my leg is
He showed me it was still there.
yeah, it's okay. Let me see if I can get it to.
How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling fine. Yeah. Went to school today. Probably not the best idea in the world, but I got through at least one of my finals. I'm trying to finish up another one. I've got one tomorrow, and then I've got another one on Monday. But
Can't believe it's almost summer.
huh?
Can't believe it's almost summer.
Right?
Yes, me neither.
I've got a few days left in my semester, and you've got till the end of the month. So
No, no, I think we get out like somewhere in the month.
yeah, it's usually like the 22nd, or no, like the 23rd. I think. Anyways,
I
digressing.
got my math start test Thursday, so
Well, there you go. But
time flies.
right, give your brother a hug for me. I love you guys 3,000, and I will call y'all later.
All right,
Later, bud. All right, let me get the microphone back on because apparently that's still a mystery to me.
Well, hold off on that microphone. It sounds actually really good right now.
Right now?
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't know why, but it just sounds like 100 times better.
I don't know, man.
Probably
I've
me.
been doing some research on it. I've been trying to get this board figured out. I thought I had it figured out. I'm going to definitely use it whenever I do whenever I start reading some of our promotional spots. But yeah. All right. So something happened in Kansas City over the weekend.
What happened in Kansas?
I don't know. A bunch of people got together and started reading off names, and it was either the Capital District was going through and getting tributes for the Hunger Games, or it was the NFL draft. I'm willing to bet that it was the NFL draft because it's been all over the news.
Yes. One thing before we start this off and get we'll go for the tearjerker moment of the draft. Dwight Vaughn.
Yes.
It was a 6th round pick. And it's all over TikTok. It's all over YouTube. I think I sent it to you. But
yeah, the dad calls his son. He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Nothing." He goes, "Hey, you want to come to work with me next week?" He's like, "What? Yeah."
I wouldn't mind that at all.
Wouldn't mind that at all. And so they hand the phone off to Jerry Jones, and he goes, "Man, you're gonna be a Dallas Cowboy."
Dude, everybody in that room was.
Everybody was,
Dad
man.
could
Everybody
barely keep the tears back from his head. That it was just a tearjerker. It was just, man.
Not to be a naysayer, man, but dude, this kid better bring it in camp. He's
Yeah.
a 6th round pick. He is not guaranteed a spot on the roster. He better bring it, dude. And I mean, with a vengeance, because he's going to be competing for a spot on that roster. And
I mean, I know nothing would make daddy, his daddy more proud, but you see a lot of legacy athletes, like Tony Gwynn Jr. He's you see like Roger Clemens' kid, Craig Biggio's kid. I mean, Craig Biggio's kid. He's playing in the major leagues. He's playing up in Toronto. Carl Yastrzemski's grandson is playing for San Francisco. I mean, very, very rarely will you see an athletic lineage put itself on display at the highest level.
Hell, even Ric Flair's daughter. Have you watched her wrestle?
Yeah.
I know it's different venue and everything, but they're still athletes, and they're just
they're still athletes. I mean, I know it's scripted and I know it's fake, but I mean, they're out there getting hurt. I mean, they're out there doing things that normal sane people shouldn't have to do.
Oh God, no.
Turn a buck.
They're still tearing up their bodies.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, it's vicious, right? But I mean, he needs to bring it. That's all I gotta say. Because it would be, if he makes the squad, great. It's gonna be a feel-good story for about a couple of weeks. Right up to the point where, to the time where either muffs a punt return or he makes a big mistake on national TV, kind of a deal. Hey, all the best luck to you, man. I mean, really. I mean, bring it. Make your dad proud. Make the Dallas Cowboys proud, kind of a deal. Let me see here. Let me pull up.
Well, the first
first overall number 1 pick
was for the
Carolina Panthers. Traded the Chicago Bears for that pick, and they went out and grabbed Bryce Young from Alabama. I think that that's going to be a good fit for them. They've been needing a quarterback forever. They brought Cam Newton back. It didn't work out the way that they wanted it to, and they're just in need of a quarterback.
The only thing on these, like, and I know people will probably end up like just shitting on me on the picks, but it's just I see patterns. I see patterns so easily. The number 1 draft pick usually isn't all 100% good. I mean, he's good on paperwork and everything like that, but
not Johnny Manziel. I mean, like Geno Smith, I think he went number 1 overall to the Jets a few years ago. He's not even playing anymore. And any time that the Cleveland Browns have had a number 1 pick, they've always drafted a quarterback. And with the exception of Baker Mayfield, none of them are playing football anymore because they went to a crap team and they got hurt or they got exposed for being a system quarterback in college, kind of a thing. I think Bryce Young's going to be a good fit for Carolina, especially if they open up that system for him. That clubhouse, that locker room needs a leader. And I mean, yeah, he only played really in only a year and a half at Alabama as a starter. He did some good things there, and so I mean, I don't look for him to be like an instantaneous GOAT at the NFL level, because let's face it, you go from college to the pros, that game is light years faster. And
yeah.
And the schemes become intrinsically more complex.
It really is like
it's night and day.
Night and day. Yeah. Because even no matter what sport you're playing,
right,
when you're like, and this is almost like jobs. I mean, you're a shit worker when you first get to a job. You're not going to be the best, and you gotta fit yourself into a new team.
Yeah, he's got to get out there and he's got to prove himself. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, he's got to work through the OTAs. He's got to work through training camp, and I mean, he's probably going to start, and that's just by virtue of the position that they drafted him for.
Yeah.
The Texans came in with the number 2 pick. They picked C.J. Stroud, quarterback out of Ohio State. I don't like that pick. I really don't. I think that they probably could have been served better by getting, I think his name was Will Levi out of Kentucky. Because CJ Stroud, I saw something out there. I forget what it was. I think it was on TikTok. They have college athletes that are going to the pros take a cognitive capacity test, and like Bryce Young and Will Anderson Jr. and like Paris Johnson Jr., Tyree Wilson. I mean, they all scored in the 80s and 90 percentile. CJ Stroud scored 17% on that test.
Cognitive, like
Like his ability to problem solve.
oh.
Yeah, this dude is going to be a certifiable nightmare. Unless he's got a good quarterback coach, and that head coach that Houston picked up during the offseason gets up, pulls this kid into the office and jerks a knot hole in his rear end. I'm talking coming to Jesus milk and cookies meeting. And this kid comes out like he had just been baptized at a tent revival, renewed kind of a thing.
Okay, what's the grading
He's
school?
already got that arrogance, man, and I think a lot of that might come from the fact that he's from the Ohio State University. Like, nobody gives a shit.
Yeah,
They drafted you because you put up good numbers. Please don't let the fans, the Houston Texans, go out there and don't do that to this fan base.
How do they do the grading system? Because I know they have that crucible they have to do like beforehand.
Well, think about it kind of like, kind of like the general tasking score on our app.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Okay.
Yeah. The Texans, they pulled a fast one. They traded up and got the number 3 overall pick in the first round. They picked up an edge rusher from Alabama, Will Anderson Jr. So they picked up an offensive and a defensive piece.
Yeah.
I'll be in there in a few minutes. No, I'll be in there in a minute.
We can just do like the top 5.
What? No, yeah. Okay. You know what? All right. I want to publicly apologize for being a horse's ass to my wife just now by going, I love you. I sincerely and dearly love you. I will be in there here in a few minutes. Okay.
Sometimes I think you don't even realize that you're on camera and you're getting recorded.
Well, that's just because this show has become like second nature to us. I mean, we're at what, 100?
No, not that part. Not that part. The
or
part
just the fact that I suffer from chronic cranial rectal inversion syndrome.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I get that. The number 4 pick went to the Indianapolis Colts. They got a quarterback from Florida, Anthony Richardson. I think that's going to be a good move for them. Seattle picked up a cornerback out of Illinois, Devon Witherspoon. Offensive tackle out of Ohio State, Paris Johnson Jr. went to the Arizona Cardinals. The Las Vegas Raiders, they picked up Tyree Wilson, an edge rusher from Texas Tech. Funny thing about that, Tyree Wilson. Here, let me see here.
Wasn't there like a thing with him?
Yeah, he's basically a Raider for life. He went to let me see here. His home. I just pulled up all of his stats here. Hold on. He went to Henderson, Texas. His high school mascot, the Raiders. He went to Texas Tech. They're the Red Raiders. And he just got drafted by the Las Vegas Raiders. So he's putting Henderson, Texas on the map, man. So, hey, young man, do your hometown proud, because my wife and my sister-in-law, they speak highly of Henderson. So it's a pretty cool thing for them, where they're like, hey, somebody who's now an alma mater of the school that they went to is now playing in the NFL or is about to play in the NFL. I'm pretty happy with with that. I mean, he ranked second in the edge rank at the combine. He picked up a 91. So I mean, he's he's gonna be a stout boy for that Raiders defense. I just hope that the defensive coordinator that they pick up has his head pulled out of his fourth point of contact long enough to realize that he's there to try to run a professional defense in the NFL. The number 8 overall pick, the Atlanta Falcons by Bijan Robertson. Number 9 went to the Eagles. They picked up Jalen Carter, which is defensive tackle out of Georgia. The Chicago Bears picked up Darnell Wright, offensive tackle out of Tennessee. The Titans picked up Peter Skoronsky, an offensive tackle out of Northwestern. The Lions picked up a running back from Alabama, Jamar Gibbs. 13 overall. Green Bay Packers picked up Lucas Van Ness, a linebacker out of Iowa. Van Ness, that just sounds like a linebacker's name, right?
Yeah.
You see the picture of this kid? I mean,
I'm
dude,
getting to it.
he's got a collar on in his headshot, right? He just looks like, I mean, you can see he's got that nice high fade going on with that ginger hair.
Okay,
But dude, he is one bad day at training camp away from getting hazed with a bowl cut.
Which number is he?
Number 13.
Okay, hold on. Okay, there we go.
Right? I mean, he looks like he'd been corn-fed. I mean, he went to Iowa, so it makes sense, right?
Oh, yeah.
So Pittsburgh picked up Broderick Jones, offensive tackle out of Georgia. Will McDonald, the fourth, went as an edge rusher, went to from Iowa State, went to the Jets. And I'll touch on the Jets before we conclude here. The District of Washington Commander, or District of Columbia Commanders, I'm just going to call them that, the DC Commanders. Emmanuel Forbes, a cornerback out of Mississippi State. The New England Patriots came in hot at number 17, picking up Christian Gonzalez, a cornerback out of Oregon. So they got a little bit of speed on the corners there to help them to defend their against the passing game. The Detroit Lions picked up Jack Campbell, another corn-fed looking dude, linebacker out of Iowa. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers picked up Kalijah Cansey, defensive tackle out of Pittsburgh. The Seattle Seahawks got the 20th overall pick, Jackson Smith Najiba. Yeah, Najiba. I had to do a double take when he held up his jersey because I thought that they had made a serious, grievous spelling error. He's a wide receiver out of Ohio State. The Los Angeles Chargers. I'm never going to get used to saying that because my entire life growing up, they were always the San Diego Chargers. But the Los Angeles Chargers picked up Quentin Johnson, a wide receiver out of TCU. So the Horned Frogs, broke into the top round. The Baltimore Ravens picked up Zay Flowers, wide receiver out of Boston College. Minnesota Vikings got Jordan Addison, wide receiver out of USC. The New York Giants got Deontay Banks, cornerback out of Maryland. Buffalo Bills picked up Dalton Kincaid, a tight end out of Utah. The Dallas Cowboys got Maisie Smith, defensive tackle out of Michigan. I think that's going to be a good pick. They need to shore up that defensive line. They suffered down the stretch last year, second half of the season. Just injuries were just plaguing that defense left and right.
Yeah, big time.
So it's good that we're retaining that the Cowboys are retaining their defensive coordinator. I think that they need a new strength and conditioning coach, to be perfectly honest with you. The Jacksonville Jaguars picked up Anton Harrison, offensive tackle out of Oklahoma. The Cincinnati Bengals got Miles Murphy, another edge rusher out of Clemson. Defensive tackle Brian Breeze. Not sure that is the relation there, but that's kind of a weird coincidence, right? Well,
Brian Breeze,
because you think Drew Brees, right? I mean, even though the names are not, is like my name is John Coffee, like to drink but not spelled the same. It's kind of one of those things. He's not related to Drew Brees at all, but New Orleans has got another Breeze coming in. He's a defensive tackle out of Clemson.
coming in.
Right. As long as his name's not Katrina. I know. Is it too soon still?
No.
The Philadelphia Eagles They got another pick at number 30, Nolan Smith. He's an edge rusher out of Georgia. There was a lot of edge rushers taken in the first round. And so be on the lookout for a lot of quarterbacks on their faces this year. Kansas City Chiefs, they got an edge rusher out of Kansas State, Felix and on Ondike Uzama. One thing I am curious about though,
Where are these names coming from?
no. I know that the Levi kid, I cannot remember his first name to save my life. Hold on a second. He went in day 2. Yeah, Will Levi, quarterback, went to the Tennessee Titans. Titans need a quarterback, pure, plain and simple. They kind of had they had a revolving door. They had a revolving door there last year, and I mean, they missed the playoffs. I mean, even though they owned the division for a majority of the year, they missed the playoffs when they lost both games to Jacksonville. Tennessee, the Titans, they picked up Will Levi.
They picked up a quarterback, William Lewis.
No, not Lewis. It's Levi. Will Levi out of Kentucky.
That's how you pronounce his last name?
Uh-huh.
Levis?
That is an Levis, Levi.
Hold on. We're gonna
Okay. Bring Stephen Hawking into it.
Levi's.
See?
Wow.
The S is silent.
No, he pronounced the S, Levi's.
Look, Stephen Hawking's dead. All right. So is his grammar. It's pronounced Levi's. The S is silent. It's like if you have him say Illinois, he'll say Illinois.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at the Detroit Tigers picked up the quarterback from the University of Tennessee, Hendon Hooker, in the 3rd round. They picked him up. What was it? The 5th pick of that round, 68th overall. I'm looking to see here because the quarterback that played for Georgia last year, for the last 2 years, I think he announced he was wanting to go pro, and I'm looking to see where he got selected at because I'm going to laugh. Oh, there he is. The Los Angeles Rams drafted Stetson Bennett the 4th in in the 4th round, 128th pick overall. He is going to have to fight his ass off to stay in this league. Oh, yeah. I think that is just hilarious. All these other quarterbacks went before him. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean,
look at Tom Brady, and not
Tom Brady was taken in the 6th round when he was drafted, and he's absolutely the greatest of all time. I don't care what anybody says. Fight me. I really don't care. But you know, I'm okay with the later picks. And to be completely and perfectly honest with you, I mean, once you get into the later rounds, the 6th and 7th rounds, even the 4th, 5th and 4th, you know, from round 5 down to 7, you're looking at getting potentially great players at a bargain in the rookie contract. So
yeah, they don't actually make their like big time money until like probably around about 5 years.
Yeah, roughly so. Yeah.
But one thing that we got to mention before we close this train, because we're heading up at like the hour 13 mark. The thing that we didn't get to touch on last week is the Jets' new quarterback.
Yes, the Jets quarterback, Mr. Aaron. I want to be like Brett Favre so bad, Rodgers. He showed up with a haircut, so that means he didn't have his man bun going on. Said the first thing that he noticed when he walked into the building was that Super Bowl III trophy in the trophy case was looking awfully low. And I'm like, dude, that's a bold statement. I mean, really, it's a bold move. Let's see if it works for him, because you're going to get all these Jets fans' hopes up. I mean, they thought that they were getting Christ reincarnated whenever Brett Favre came to play with them for a year. So I've stated this before in the past on previous shows, but Aaron Rodgers, he's now officially left the Packers. He's a Jet. His next stop before he finally retires for good is going to be the Minnesota Vikings. Mark my words.
Uh, I'm
He's going to play in Minnesota purple, or Viking purple rather, and he's going to be screaming skull at the top of his lungs. Oh, speaking of the Vikings went out and got where is it? Let me look here. I think he went in the 4th round. Saw it the other day.
who are you looking for?
He played for West Point this year or last year as a senior.
Oh, they actually let him go through.
Yeah, he got drafted. I think it was by the Minnesota Vikings. I'm trying to see
Because they weren't gonna allow him to play professional.
Yeah, I think they got him grandfathered in. But I mean, regardless, I mean, this kid, I mean, you saw him in the last Army Navy game, dude. I mean, he was an
Andre
absolute
Carter.
Andre Carter, yes. Absolute nightmare.
Yes.
What round did he get taken in?
Oh, I just picked up the name.
I saw it a second ago. This is what I get for not doing notes before the show.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, folks.
Dead air is good air. That means there's nothing in it.
First round consumed 3. Okay. God damn. Come on. They're just talking. Jesus Christ, come on. Like reading this thing and they're just talking about the draft. Number. I'm just gonna look at this shit.
It was really in the weekend.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, he got picked up. So hey, I'm ecstatic for him because I mean, when they had that dangled in front of them and they were like, hey, this is awesome, kind of a thing. And then, they come in and yank it out right from underneath these kids' feet. I'm glad that they got him grandfathered in. Where? Holy crap.
Yeah, I'm still looking. I bet he was the 3rd. Man, just looking at this this stuff.
Oh, he goes undrafted, but the Vikings signed him as a free agent, so he did not get drafted.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, so Andre Carter II went undrafted, but he ended up signing a free agent deal with the Minnesota Vikings on Saturday night. He's another edge rusher. But I'm perfectly okay with that. I mean, this kid, he's gonna turn some heads. He's gonna make people kind of sit up and go, whoa, and it's good to see the service academies finally, starting to get some of that recognition that these athletes are due. Now I do still agree that some kind of commitment needs to be served. I mean,
I wonder I wonder if they're gonna put because what I'm looking at right here is they put him out as a free agent. He might be going to the reserves.
Yeah, I mean, but the reserve time, he can, as an officer, I don't necessarily think he's gonna have to serve like on the weekends. Like definitely during the summertime, whenever they do their annual drill kind of a thing. I mean, he's not gonna be playing football, so he can meet that requirement at the very least. But yeah, and should we get into a shooting match with anybody ever again? I'm sure once everybody starts deploying like crazy, he'll get activated, and he'll have to go off and do his thing. But
yeah,
I'm really good with the with that signing. So overall, I think the draft was pretty successful. There wasn't a lot of noise made about it. The day of, you've got some you got some social media influencers, personalities out there that literally they just saved up vacation time to take that entire weekend off. But real quick, NASCAR, they ran the Dover race today because it was rained out yesterday. Martin Truex Jr. actually ended up winning that race. He broke a winless streak. I think it was like 54 races without a win. So he finally broke into victory lane again today. Kind of a cool note about that is that his brother, Ryan Truex, won in the Xfinity Series on Saturday. So the brothers Truex bookended the weekend at Dover, which hey, that to me, that's cool. Ross Chastain's out there pissing people off again. He wrecked Brandon Poole in the first stage, and Brandon Poole went up the track, spun, and collected Kyle Larson in the process. Yeah, Brandon Poole, I mean, they interviewed him, and they were like, yeah, somebody needs to, Ross Chastain probably needs to get his butt whooped. I mean, he said that on camera. So it's something needs to be done about Ross Chastain. I mean, the kids, I mean, he's got talent. That's not up for debate. But it's the you need to make friends in that sport. People have to know that they can trust you. And if you're putting a bumper to people at during unreasonable periods in the race, they're not going to want to work with you when it matters. They're definitely not going to want you behind them. I mean, they may race you clean, but don't expect that favor to last too much longer if you're going to keep putting people in the wall like that. Ross Chastain, so he tries to apologize to people that got wrecked because of the shit that he did during the race. And Kyle Larson, he gave an interview today after the race was over. He goes, I didn't hear the apology, but it just kind of seems funny that his mistakes don't affect him negatively.
yeah, that's how some people are. I mean, they just
I mean, it's one thing to run out of
they
talent.
fuck up, and then it makes it all your fault. And
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to go into a
and
corner. Right. It's one thing to dive down into a corner and run out of talent. You put somebody in the wall and you get caught up in your own mistake. But it just kind of seems like it's a pattern, it's like if he's bumping people or dooring people and it's like, dude, why is nothing happening to your car? Why are you getting involved in these accidents? And you're always, you're out there getting these top 15s and top 10s. And everybody else is out there picking up shit off the track and putting it into the hauler and going back to the race shop. I mean, you're out there costing these teams hundreds of thousands of dollars, and all you're going to end up doing is going to get yourself hurt because you're going to find yourself in a very compromising position at tracks like Talladega or the New Atlanta or Daytona, and you're going to need somebody to desperately help you, and you're going to get dumped at 200 plus miles an hour, and it's going to be kind of vicious. you're going to hope and pray that the welds on your roll cage are good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't advocate putting somebody's life in danger, for the sake of sending a message. But I mean, Ross Chastain, he could probably do with a few DNFs, between now and the end of the regular season. It did not finish. That's what a DNF is. So,
Okay.
But I saw that deer in the headlight look, and you're like, it's like he's saying words, but I don't know what he means. The next race is going to be you get ready for it, the Advent Health 400 at Kansas Speedway. That race is going to be held next Sunday, May 7th, 2023, the year of our Lord. Green flag drop.
Say that again. That's fucking hilarious.
Well, the Advent Health 400 at Kansas Speedway, Sunday, May 7th, in the year of our Lord 2023. Broadcast starts at 2:00 Eastern Time. Catch the race on FS1, MRN Radio Network, or your Sirius XM app or radios that are in your car.
Is that about it?
Yeah, I mean, the one race that I'm really, 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 really looking forward to, Sunday, May 14th, it's going to be at Darlington. It's going to be it's going to be a throwback race. It's the Goodyear 400, and then All-Star race May 21st at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Bro, we have not raced as a series at North Wilkesboro since the 90s.
Is that one they fixed up?
That Dale Jr. brought back to life? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I actually kind of want to see that one.
Yeah, I am all about that. That same night, they've got what's called as the All-Star Open, whereas if you didn't qualify for the All-Star race by virtue of winning the previous season or being a previous winner of the race, you have a chance to race your way in. And then they also have a fan vote that can transfer over into the actual event.
That's good.
But yeah, once that All-Star race, the green flag drops on that, dude, winner gets $1 million, winner take all. It is all about the money when that green flag drops.
About the greenbacks.
Oh yeah, it's all about the rubles.
But
yeah, but
anyways,
I think it's time that we go ahead and
land this plane.
Yeah, land this plane. Absolutely.
Anyways,
wait, hold on. It's time we land this plane, and then 5 minutes later we're still talking. So I'm going to try this. It's time that we land this plane. No. Wait, here it comes. You instinctively wanted to open your mouth. Oh, no. See, you had to go take it someplace. Just
hell yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us again this week. We apologize for the absence last week, but life happens. If you don't like it, sorry. I'm not saying unfollow us or give us a bad review, but write your congressman. Be more than happy to have them on the show to try to justify why we need occasionally a week off to do things. So but
yeah.
All right.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this was Nerd Sports episode 106. I can't believe we're getting 3 digits up there.
Oh yeah.
So
he's David Dickerman. I'm Johnny Skelton. You have been blessed, and you're welcome.
Goodbye.